Hello, my name's Christopher, and today I'm going to show you how to install MySQL on Dockge. So, a little bit about this series, I'm going over home labs, installing things, getting things set up, everything like that. So if you're interested in that, subscribe, comment, like, and support the channel, and let's get started. I wanted to let y'all know about the Big Bear community. We just launched a community on community.bigbeartechworld.com. It's based on discourse, so go on there, join it, and say hi. So, let's get back to your registered programming. So MySQL is a relational database, and it makes it to where you can have databases underneath MySQL, and then have tables, and then store the data in the tables. So you can store users and like emails and different things like that, and relate the tables to each other based on IDs. So, I'm going to start on Big Bear Video Assets. There will be a link down in the YouTube description to get to this. And I'm going to scroll down to how to install MySQL on Dockge right here. And then I'm going to go in the Docker Compose. So, version 3 of Docker Compose is being used. And I'm going to set services down here. And then the service underneath the services is called MySQL. The image is coming off Docker Hub because there's no URL before this, and this is the Docker image of just MySQL. And then the Docker image tag is 8. And then container name is going to be MySQL. We're going to set some environment variables. So the MySQL root password is password. The MySQL database is Dockge. That's the default one that's created. The MySQL user is Big Bear, and the MySQL password is password. Now, these things cannot be changed once the Docker container is created and up. So I'm going to map some ports. So 3306, so that's on the host, and 3306 is on the container. And if this does collide with another port on your host, you can change this to like 3307. You cannot change the containers port. And then now I'm going to set a volume. So I'm going to set MySQL data for a local volume down here that's defined down here. And then on the container side is var lib MySQL. Do not change this path right here. So this is going to define the local volume. So I'm going to go over here to copy raw file. I'm going to click it, and then I'm going to go over to my Dockge and get this installed. So I wanted to let you know about the Big Bear Club. You can join it, and it greatly supports this channel, and I very much appreciate it. So if you'd like to join the Big Bear Club, you can go down the YouTube description and go to my Ko-Fi link and join it from there. So let's get back to registered programming. So now I'm going to start on my Dockge. I'm going to go up here to Compose, and then I'm going to give it a stack name of MySQL stack. And then I'm going to go over here to the editor, and I'm going to paste in the Docker Compose that I explained over in Big Bear Video Assets. Once you do that, you'll see it populated over here, and you can see that it's synced over here. So if you change things over in the UI, it'll change things over in the editor over here, and vice versa. You can delete the container out of this completely. It'll delete this right here if you click the delete. You can save this container and don't deploy it. You can stop and down, and then you can deploy it right here. You can add URLs, and you can set environment variables right here, and networks, internal networks, and external networks. So I'm going to go over here to deploy. I'm going to click it, and what this done is it downloaded the Docker container off the registry, got it extracted, and then got it up with Docker Compose underneath. So it's using the Docker engine. So we got it up and running, and it looks like it's good to go. So I'm going to go over the stack options in Dockge. So on the home screen, you have active, exited, and inactive. This shows you the stacks and what their status is. I'm going to go in the stack now. So you have your actions up here. So edit, restart, update, stop and down, and then delete. And then down here is your containers that are inside of the Docker Compose. And here's your ports that it's listening on. So if this is how to UI, you can click on this. You can also go into the bash in the container, and you'll be in the container now. So you can switch to SH as well if bash does not work. You can do that, or if you prefer SH. So I'm going to go back in the stack. Now, this is really handy. You can see your logs down here and what the stack is doing. You can go over here. You can see the read-only version of the Docker Compose that it's using. If you wanted to edit this Docker Compose, you go up to the edit button right here. And here you can edit the Docker Compose right here, raw. And when you edit over here, it syncs over here, and vice versa. You can add a container to this or right underneath the services, and then press the add once you put the container name in there, the Docker image. So you'll see your active containers down here. You can edit the active container of the service. So you can go over here and edit things, and it'll move over here. So you can go over here and you can see it's edited over here now. I'm gonna move that back. So you can see your URLs down here. You can see your environment variables over here. You can see your networks, internal networks and external networks. You can deploy the changes that you made. You can save the changes you made. You can stop and down. You can discard. So I'm going to discard. So now you can restart the stack and then a restart down here, and you'll see a live a log down here of it happening. You can update the current tag on the stack, so 8. You can stop the stack. So that's a little bit about the stack options in Dockge. So on Big Bear Video Assets, you're going to go to how to install MySQL on Dockge right here. You're going to scroll down on the README to test MySQL. And then in our terminal, we're going to connect to the MySQL. So we're going to use the MySQL CLI. And then we're going to put our host in, which is a Dockge IP. And then the port is going to be 3306. The user is Big Bear, and it's going to ask you for your password. So, and then once we connect with that, we're going to come down here and show all databases. And then we're going to use the default database we created in the environment variables. And then we're going to list all the tables inside of Dockge. And then once that's done, we've done a full test on MySQL, so we'll exit. So that's what we'll be doing in the next segment. So now I'm in my terminal. I'm going to paste in the command. So I'm going to change the Dockge IP right here to my Dockge IP. So, okay, now the port's correct, the user is correct. So I'm going to press return or enter. So now I'm going to enter the password, and if you went with the default install, it's just password. So now we're inside. So now we're going to show our databases. Okay, now return or enter. So we have Dockge, information scheme, and performance scheme. So I'm going to go into Dockge. So I'm going to type in use and then Dockge. Then now the database changed. So now I'm going to show the tables. Oops, if I can type. Okay, now there we go. It's empty. So we've successfully tested the MySQL, and it should be working. So now I'm going to exit. So now, bye. So that was a test for MySQL, and it is working. So I just went over getting MySQL running on Dockge. I went over the Docker Compose, went over installing it, went over the options in Dockge, and I went over the getting it tested and seeing that it's up and running. So if you like this tutorial, subscribe, comment, like, and support the channel. And if you have any video suggestions or you need community support, you can go down to our Big Bear community and join our forum. There's a link in the YouTube description. So stay tuned for more.